Do you think mounts should be in the game? That is a pressing question. Um, okay. So I've always said mounts shouldn't be in New World. Okay, that's been my stance ever since New World was released. I've always had the stance that we do not need mounts in New World at currently. Okay, keyword there currently. Okay, so at the moment there are a lot of fast travel points. You can get around the map pretty easily. I don't think at the moment, in the current state of the game, mounts would add any value to the game. Okay, well, that is always where I've stood on this topic, and that is where I still stand at the moment. Now, I have seen some glimpses of Brimstone Sands, and I've seen the large area that Brimstone Sands adds to the map, and I've seen the people complain about traveling around Brimstone Sands area, the lack of fast travel points, and all that sort of things. So, do I think mounts need to be in the game when Brimstone Sands come out? No. But do I think they should come out in the near future? Yes. Okay. So, knowing New World, they'll probably just add some more fast travel points into Brimstone for now. Okay. For now. Because they haven't announced mounts. They have confirmed that there will be mounts. Asmongold recently had an interview with the developers, and he confirmed that they did say yes to mounts. Now, we don't know the context of that conversation. We don't know exactly what was said, how it got brought up, or anything. So we can't really. First, we don't really know if that's fact. That's not me calling Asmongold a liar, but we don't know the context, do we? So we can't really call that fact. It's hearsay. Nothing's been in the roadmap, and mounts are a pretty big thing. If it was in the roadmap for this year, we would have known about it. And three, you know, yeah, we would have heard a bit more about it if it was going to be this year. So, do I think it's going to come out with Brimstones? No, it won't. Like, I'll 100% say that. Is it going to come out next year, though? We don't know. We don't have a roadmap for next year yet, do we? So, we don't really know what's going to happen next year. But I think that the fact they said yes, I think we will see them. And I think, yes, they should add mounts uh, next year. Probably the earliest we're going to get it is probably spring next year, if they are going to do it, I would say. Giving you a rough estimate, I would say spring next year. All right. Next question. When do you think they should add mounts into the game? Well, I've just answered that. That is probably, I sort of answered that with the first question, so I will skip on to the next one. But yeah, anytime after Brimstone stands, I think we can all pretty much agree on. What system would you like New World to implement for mounts? So this is a question that it like falls on the back of the mounts. Like, how would you like New World to implement mounts? So I personally think, and this is my honest opinion, that the Black Desert mount system was one of the best that I've ever played in an MMO. The way you catch the horses, the way you could breed the horses, the way that horses have stats, the way you can craft armor for the horses. I think that was really immersive, and it allowed the players to do something else rather than just leveling, questing, doing the normal MMO stuff. So I would like to see something like that brought into New World. Something that gives the players more things to do rather than just, you do a quest and you get a mount. Like, that's not really that. I don't agree with that sort of system, in other MMOs, that worked over the years and things like that, such as World of Warcraft, where you can like do achievements for mounts, also a rare loot drop and things like that. That works for WoW, but Do I think it'll work for New World? No, I think New World should adopt a better approach to it, where you can catch things in the wild. You can, you know, uh, breed them. Add stables at settlements so that you can, store your horses in there. And it doesn't just have to be horses either. You've got, you can add horses in. You can add donkeys in, wolves, bears, goats if you really wanted to. The, there's a lot of creatures that are already in New World that you could utilize. Bears are already in. You just have to make them so people could jump on them. A bear with craft some armor for a bear, that would be sick. You um, so I really think that you know stuff like that would be really beneficial for New World. And I think it would give people something to do as well, an extra thing to do, because you could add an animal husbandry skill to the trade skills, which means you'd level up the more you tamed horses, and maybe the more higher up your skill, the better chance of getting a good stat horse would be. And the stats could be things like movement speed, stamina, um, uh, jumping height. Maybe you could add in there, health. Um, just basic stats like that. I think would be fine. It doesn't have to be anything too overcomplicated, the stats on the horses, but people will always try and go for like the fastest mount or the mount with highest stamina, so they're not stopping all the time. And I think that would be really, really good, really, really good for the game, and it would give players a lot to do. But the reason, and I'm going to go back to the previous questions now because this kind of adds into the previous questions, is the reason why I don't want this to come out when Brimstone comes out is because it's a whole. If they did something similar to what I've just said, that adds a whole new other like layer of things to do. And I think on top of that, with the Brimstone, probably would be a bit too overwhelming of content to just come out all at once. So I think maybe delay it till maybe spring next year, then add it in. Then people will be like, "Oh, I've done all the Brimstone content now. Oh, now we've got something else to try," and it keeps the players going. So I think that probably spring next year probably makes sense as a good time to do it. Um, but you know, um, if they did go the other way and they did do the mounts like as a drops and things like that, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But to me, I don't think that's enjoyable. It's not enjoyable for the player. I don't think. Um, you know, I think players want to feel the sense of achievement, and just getting something from a drop. One person can get it day one, first try. Another person can probably wait 6 months to get it from a drop, because drops, drops, and I don't think that's really fair on the players to go to do that. I don't think that's a good way to manage mounts. I think every mount should be accessible, and you can go out there and catch a horse or whatever, uh, anytime. It might not be a good horse, but at least you've got a mount and it's yours to keep. Um, and you can store it in the stables. Um, you know, and maybe if it dies, you have to pay. I don't know. Maybe if it dies, you lose it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you do if your horse dies. I'm pretty sure in Black Desert, if your horse dies, I think it just goes back to the stable or something. You have to like heal it up at a stable or something. But you know, I don't know what you'd do for death. Maybe, yeah, maybe you have to go to a stable to get care for it. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, that's minor details. Um, but yeah, that's the system that I would like to see for mounts. I think that would be beneficial for the game. It would be beneficial for the players because it gives extra things to do. And it wouldn't just be, oh, let's pick this up so we can get to A to B quicker. It'll be, oh, I've got to get the best version of this. I've got to get the best version of stats. And I think that would just be really, really good for New World. And yeah, gives an extra layer of things to do. Uh, when do you think mounts will be introduced if what was said is true? Again, I've already covered this. These are common questions, by the way, which I've got on a notepad file to the to the left. Um, yeah, we don't know when it'll be introduced. You know, just because they said yes in the Asmongold when they spoke to Asmongold. Again, we don't know what context that was said in. We don't know how that was brought up. They could have meant this year. They could have meant in 10 years' time. We don't know. Obviously, as a player, we want it sooner rather than later, but we obviously don't know that, so we can't really answer that. Yeah, but the earliest I would probably put it on, and I've said this throughout the video, spring next year. I wouldn't expect it before Christmas. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't expect it this year. But yeah, that's my thoughts on mounts, guys. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on mounts. Be interested to know your thoughts, what you'd like to see introduced in New World, how you would bring mounts into New World, whether you're a fan of the drops, you know, you just kill a mob and a mount is a possible drop, or you would like the whole taming and breeding and, you know, the animal husbandry skill, all that sort of stuff. You know, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm sorry that I haven't been posting many videos lately. I just haven't really had any things to say too much, but I am going to be starting doing more and more New World videos, so make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. See you next time, guys. Goodbye.